Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, welcome to another night of Ramadan reflections. And through these Ramadan reflections, we hope to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get closer to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to create an attachment to the Quran with hopes that even after the month of Ramadan, we continue learning the Quran and continue reciting the Quran, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us and narrates the story about Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam. And we know that he was in the stomach of the whale. And after he had made mistake in the whale, he made dua and turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's look at the story of Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam. He's calling people towards Islam and people are not accepting Islam. So he gives them a warning and says, if you don't fix yourself, then punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come. And you could say to an extent, judging by the previous nations, that when they were warned, they didn't turn back. Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam, they're going to be punished anyways. I'm just going to leave. So he made the mistake of leaving and giving up. And because of that, he was punished. Now I want to point out something before we come to the main point that I want to talk about. Is that as humans, we are bound to make mistakes. We also need to be prepared to face the consequences. It is a must. It is for you. And depending on the level of your position, your status, your darja, your rank, in accordance to that, the severity of the pain will be severe in accordance to your rank. If you are able to benefit from your rank and your position and your authority, then you also have to be ready to face the consequences of your mistakes. We do not run, we face them, we acknowledge them, we become better. We try to become better from our mistakes. We don't run from them, we don't hide from them. There's people out there that I have witnessed that they don't like suffering for their consequences. They don't like suffering for their mistakes. They would just rather run away like cowards. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-jubni. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask him, Allah, protect us from being cowards. No, we face it. We have made a mistake, we acknowledge it, we face the consequences. I know I have done wrong and I deserve some consequences and some punishments, and I'm okay with that. Because if we do not get it in this dunya, then we'll get it in the next. So we must face our consequences. Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam is a prophet of Allah. He has a direct connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is a chosen one of Allah. He was told to do something. He was told to call people towards Islam, and when they rejected, he was told to give them a punishment and he was told to warn them of a punishment if they don't turn back. And majority of the nations did not turn back. And they were all punished, إِلَّا قَوْمَ Yunus, except for the nation of Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam. But Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam gave up upon them, gave up of them, gave up with them and gave up and left before Allah told them he can give up on them. We don't give up. We face our consequences. We learn from them and we get better. We don't die in them. We don't grieve. We don't just become full of sorrow and grief. No. We made a mistake. We know we're ready to do whatever it takes. We are humble. We're going to humble ourselves. We will have some humility, and we intend to make ourselves better human beings, inshallah. That is the intention we have. But we must face them. We must face our consequences. While we're facing our consequences, and before we're facing our consequences, actually, we must constantly do the zikr of Allah. Remember Allah in times of ease and comfort, and He will remember you in times of difficulty and calamity. We are bound to make mistakes. We're bound to suffer from calamities. We're bound to suffer from our mistakes. It's bound to happen with human beings. كل بني آدم خطاء. Every human being will make mistakes. But we want to make those mistakes in this dunya, and we want to suffer the result or the consequence, or face them. Inshallah, we don't have to suffer. Face those mistakes in this dunya, otherwise we have to face them in the next. Because when you face these mistakes, it's like performing a surgery on your nafs and your soul. It's rectifying you. It's cleaning you of your sins and your mistakes. We need that surgery sometimes. But before we get that surgery, before we make that mistake, when we are in ease and luxury and comfort, we must remember Allah. When Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salat, this is what I wanted to touch. We must do the zikr of Allah in times of ease and comfort. Keep doing the zikr of Allah. Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Say La ilaha illallah as much as you can. Say Alhamdulillah as much as you can. Say Astaghfirullah as much as you can. We must continuously do the zikr of Allah. So, just like Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was in that calamity, when he was in the whale, when he was in the stomach of the whale or the fish, and when he said, La ilaha illa anta subhanak, inni kuntu min al-dhalimeen, that there is no one worthy of worship except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanak, glory be to Allah. Oh Allah, inni kuntu min al-dhalimeen. Oh Allah, I made a mistake. I feel my mistake, Ya Allah, I made a mistake. I'm acknowledging my mistake, Ya Allah. We feel it. Humne galti ki hai, we made a mistake. We acknowledge it. We feel it. We must feel our mistakes. Sincerely. Prophet has told us, whoever says La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-dhalimeen, his dua will be accepted after that. But your dua, Allah will remember you in your calamity, in your difficulty, if you remembered Him in times of ease and comfort. And the malaika recognized the voice, because he was from min al-musabbihin, he was from those who did the tasbih, he was from those who did the zikr of Allah. Malaika recognized his voice. Ya Allah, we hear a familiar voice that was doing zikr all the time. He's in distress, he's in a calamity. Ya Allah, save him. And through that dua, Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam was saved. So again, we're going to make mistakes. We need to face our mistakes. But before our mistakes, when we are in comfort and luxury, we need to continuously do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remembers us when we are in difficulties and calamities. جزاكم الله خيرا وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.